Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This lesson is going to be on the recent racial tensions in UK. You know, these things are getting heated. Okay, you got the far right Edomites coming out and, rioting, beating up certain Muslims, certain Jakes, and things of that nature because of some recent thing that happened allegedly involving, I believe, 3 girls. And I'm going to read these articles, okay, and play a couple videos so that we can go through it. Okay. It says, this is on Reuters.com. It says, renewed rioting sweeps British cities in wake of child murders. I got to watch my words when it comes to that particular term. It says, Liverpool, England, Belfast, August 3rd. Violent disorder swept across several British cities on Saturday, injuring police and damaging property in the most widespread rioting in the country for 13 years. Following the murder of 3 young girls in northwest England. And these 3 young girls were 3 Edomite girls. Okay. Riots involving hundreds of anti-immigration protesters have erupted in towns and cities after false information spread rapidly on social media. And this is going to be a key. Okay. The fact that this false information and hate speech is spreading on social media, right? Remember, they want to regulate this social media. They want to regulate who can say what and what people say. And they want to be able to persecute people who are speaking certain things, right? Who's the main target at the end of the day when the smoke clears for the elites? It's the Hebrew Israelites, okay, the men of the Lord specifically. Okay, it says false information spread rapidly on social media that suspect in Monday's knife attack at a children's dance class in Southport was a radical Muslim migrant. Okay, so it's saying it was a radical Muslim migrant who did this, right? So this what ignited these far right Edomites, and notice they're going back to that right and that left wing paradigm. It's all throughout these beast system countries. When I say beast system country, I'm talking about these Edomite European countries, right? You have the right and the left paradigm. Okay, you have the Democrat, Republican. Canada, you have the conservatives, liberals, and then the UK, I believe it's the Labour Party and the conservatives, I believe. All right, so. And a brother can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But this is that left-right paradigm going back to Revelations, the 13th chapter. Right? Matter of fact, let's go to that. Let's go to Revelations 13. And verse 11. And it reads, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, right? Those 2 horns represent the right and the left. Notice, listen, the same things, the same ideologies and mindsets that the right wing have in America, they have in the UK. It's similar mindsets, right? And they can rouse them up through similar things, right? And they use these things to rouse up the right wing individuals because, they know how to rouse those people up. They're very prone to to violence as well. Okay, it says especially the Edom. I'm speaking about specifically the Edomites. Okay, it says and he spake as a dragon. Right, so he had 2 horns like a lamb, which is the right and the left. And he spake like a dragon, meaning he brought forth draconian laws. right? And all these different things are going to bring forth draconian laws. These things are tied to that order out of chaos. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Okay? And another part of this video is going to be entitled, Esau does not want Jake to get roused up, all right, or to get active. Because when the Lord puts that spirit on Jake, man, Esau is going to have another thing coming. See, Esau is doing the attacking now, right, for the most part. So, but when Jake gets roused up, hey, man, hey, you got some of these mighty men of old. Okay, you got some of the mighty men of old back now in these times, right? Even though they may not be they're not in the truth or whatever the case may be, you have mighty men that were not in the truth. Mighty men that were wicked. You got them dudes as well. Right? It says police have said the suspect Axel Rudakubana, 17, was born in Britain, but protest by anti-immigration and anti-Muslim demonstrators have continued descending into violence, arson, and looting. Okay, so he's supposedly the person who did it, or who was suspected to do it, was born in Britain. So he wasn't even really an immigrant, right? His parents may have been an immigrant, but he himself was not an immigrant, according to this. It says violent disorder erupted in Liverpool, Bristol, Hull, and Belfast, 4 cities located in different corners of the UK, with scuffles breaking out and bricks and bottles thrown as anti-immigration protesters face groups opposed to racism. Okay. It says many police officers suffered injuries as they try to keep several hundred rival protesters, largely young men who were chanting slogans, from clashing. In Liverpool, 2 officers were in hospital with suspected facial fractures, while another was pushed from his motorbike by and it's assaulted in disorder involving some 750 protesters and similar number of rival protesters. Merseyside police, the force overseeing the northern city, said. Okay, so you can see that these things are getting serious. I gotta open this door, man. It's flipping hot, super hot in here. Could barely breathe. Give me a second, Salakia. Goodness. Okay. Forgive me. All right. It says, let's go to some of these videos. As you can see here, it says, far-right riots, over 90 arrests made after violence erupts across UK. Okay, so this is being called far right violence, right? So they're putting this on the far right. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at some of the stuff going on. This is from Channel 4.
Everything in life is a negotiation. When you cross the street is a negotiation. Getting your
Missiles thrown at police cars and buildings on fire. Ugly scenes in Sunderland last night. But what will this evening bring? Good evening. There is an increased police presence in a number of towns and cities across the country tonight, where far-right protesters have been gathering. In some places, dispersal notices or increased stop and search powers are in place to tackle antisocial behaviour, while a number of police officers have been injured in Liverpool and Hull, and there have been incidents this afternoon in Manchester, Stoke, Nottingham and Belfast. Riot police have separated rival far-right and anti-racist protesters who are facing off in a number of cities across the UK. In the last few minutes, police said they had made 4 arrests in Hull, where 3 officers were hurt during clashes. Our reporter Andrew Misra is in Liverpool, where police say they're dealing with serious disorder in the city centre, and a number of officers have been injured there too. Andrew.
Kieran, we haven't seen the same level of violence that we saw in Sunderland last night here in Liverpool this afternoon, but there has been serious disorder, as you say. One police officer was even hit in the head by a chair, and a lot of anger we've seen here from rival groups of protesters. There's been a big police presence working really hard to try to contain those two groups. It has settled down a little bit now, and you can probably see behind me that there are still sirens. The police are still here, and there's a police helicopter still whirring above us. And at the same time as things felt like they were kicking off here, if you looked on social media, we're seeing very similar scenes of rival protesters around the country. We are expecting a statement from the Home Secretary about all of this any minute now, but what doesn't seem to have helped is that the weather has been very warm today, and that seems to have created a pretty febrile atmosphere.
That is disgusting!
The weekend, but no end to the disorder, chaos and noise of the past week. From Liverpool to Hull to Belfast.
Sometimes all they need is just a hug.
The afternoon started peacefully in Liverpool with an anti-racism protest at St George's Hall. Many in Merseyside horrified by riots that disrupted the grieving of 3 young girls, Alice, Bibi and Elsie, murdered in Southport just a few days ago.
It's a peace vigil for the 3 dead children, the injured, the families. We will not tolerate racism, not in this city, not in this country, not in this world.
I have no doubt whatsoever that the lovers out there far outnumber the haters, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, whatever. But you can see that this is the the sentiment, you know, that caused it was that those 3 Edomite-looking girls got put to death, right, by some deranged individual. Which, you know, we've seen that throughout history. That's something that Esau uses as fuel for violence, you know. They'll use the woman, you know, Jake did something to these particular women, these particular girls or whatever, and they'll use that as fuel. That's what happened with the Black Wall Street. They used that lie, you know, this woman, she was in an elevator and Jake, I guess he tripped and fell or something like that, and he was trying to tap me, and somehow she got away and ran to the other Edomites, right? And that were outside of the city, and told them, oh yeah, this and this happened, right? Conjured up that lie, and that's what they killed. They unalive babies, families, old people, destroyed all the buildings, destroyed all the infrastructure, destroyed everything because of that one incident that really nothing happened, but she got away and she told that story. So, you know, a lot of violence has happened based upon the lie of, you know, something happening to Edomite women or girls. Okay, the youngest person executed in America was a Jake. I believe he was 14 years old, and they said that there was 2 Edomite girls that got put to death, and so they executed that Jake, and they bribed him with ice cream to say, don't worry, just say that you did it or whatever, and you'll be okay. Blah 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 blah. And we'll give you ice cream, something along those lines. And I believe that the Jake was like slow. He was kind of slow. Well, he had to be slow. All right. But at the end of the day, you know, this is something that sparks Edomites, that sparks Edomites to do violence, which Edomites don't mind doing violence anyway, but this is one of the excuses they use. So I want to read something. I want to read 2nd Ezra. This is 2nd Ezra 2 and verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And that's what we're doing. We're measuring the time to see what time we're in. Right? Are we in the time of mirth? Are we in the time of happiness? Right? Of love? No. Okay, we're in the time of judgment. We're in the time of hate. We're in the time of violence that's getting ready to come. Okay? Right? And when thou seest seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, we see a lot of earthquakes more than ever, and uproars of the people in the world, and we see that happening. Okay, this is an uproar of the people. Okay, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the beginning that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings in effect and signs. And this is the end of the Edomite rulership. This is the end of the Edomite world. And we're coming to our world under Yahweh Shai. Okay? These are all signs of the end of his world. Okay? And Esau can feel the end, right? He can feel this the end. And this is another reason why these Edomites are so angry and so on edge. Okay? It's going to take nothing to get these Edomites to get violent. All right? This is 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell in there, them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right, so they're not. Hey, the sedition among men. What you're seeing, or what this UK Prime Minister was blaming this thing on, was partly sedition. He didn't use the word sedition, but he was blaming the information that was being spread on the internet, right? And said that those people will also be punished. So I'm gonna play that real quick, and I'm gonna read this again. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right? So let's look up this word sedition, which, I'm sure most brothers know what the word sedition means, but we're gonna look it up anyway. Okay, this word sedition. Sedition meaning. It says, sedition is overt conduct such as speech or organization that tends toward rebellion against the established order. Okay, which they accuse Paul of sedition. Okay, they call Paul a seditious fellow, right? It says sedition often includes subversion of a constitution and incitement of discontent toward or insurrection against discontent, incitement of discontent toward. So you can't be discontent. You can't incite discontentment. I thought this was a place of freedom of speech and freedom of thought. No, that was all an illusion. Okay, or insurrection against established authority, right? So hey, they can use that against us as well. But except the thing with us though, we're reading the scriptures. We're backing this up through the Bible. Right? We're not using our own thoughts. We're using what is written in the Bible. Okay? But let's hear what this Prime Minister has to say here.
I utterly condemn the far-right thuggery we've seen this weekend. Be in no doubt, those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law. The police will be making arrests, individuals will be held on remand, charges will follow, and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and then running.
Whether directly or those whipping up this action online. Let's hear this again. You will regret doing this.
Convictions will follow. Convictions will be held on remand, charges will follow, and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and then running away themselves. This is not protest. It is organised, violent thuggery, and it has no place on our streets or online.
There you go, Odo Abkale. And another thing, they set up a lot of these guys to put out this information that he's speaking against right now online. Okay, they have people set up. They have agent provocateurs. Okay, they put out a lot of misinformation out there to trap people up that's searching for truth, right? And give them misinformation so they can spread it and say, oh no, that's misinformation, but they were the ones that spread it to begin with. Okay, create certain memes and things like that, and this is all for their purpose of cracking down and regulating who you can use the internet, so on and so forth, and what people say. And hey man, it's coming. Okay, it's coming. But the Heavenly Father is taking out multiple birds with one stone, because now this is also increasing racial tension. Racial tension is high right now in the UK, and this will spread. It's not just going to stay in the UK. This type of tension. This tension is going to be all around the world, all around where Jake is at, where Edomites are at. Okay, and of course in Babylon, And it's going to be the same type of Edomites, the far right Edomites of whatever country that's going to wild out, So what was I going to say? I was going to play another video, but let me finish this 2nd Ezra 15 first, and then I'll play that other video. Okay, it says it says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right? Hey, you've seen that in the movie Civil War. He thought, I'm American. He thought the guy was gonna have mercy because they said they're Americans. He said, what kind of Americans are you? He didn't care about that. He had a pile of bodies in a damn truck, okay, that they all put to death. These Edomites are out there. Those Edomites you see rioting, those are those type of Edomites that are gonna be in that spirit when that time comes, man. Okay, you see. And you can look at certain Edomites and see, yeah, that Edomite, he's gonna get busy when that time comes, man. Okay. I was talking to this one Edomite the other day, and I've seen him before, and I always noticed when I seen this guy, where I seen him, that he's one of those Edomites that's gonna get active. I could see this Edomite, he has he has a lot of rage in him. I told him that. I said, you got a lot of rage in you. I could see that. He laughs. Yeah, you're right. There's so many, he starts telling me stories about how he blacked out, and almost killed certain people and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, I got to try control it, though. I control it, man. You could just see it, man. He has trouble with women. He's just pissed off at the world. You just see it, man. He's a big, huge, Edomite, you know. Hey, man. Hey, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of Jeffrey Dahmers out here too that are secretly, you know, in that mindset. You know. Let's go to the video. Now, this is a video of them beating up some Jake, right? Now, whether the Jake said something or whatever, I don't know, you know. But the point is, they're using this as fuel for you know, racial tensions. You know, even when you look at the title of this, Pakistan Today, right? So this is a Pakistani news outlet, man. And they're saying British mob lynches black man in Manchester as violent protests continue. So which that's not what happened. Okay, they just basically tried to beat him up, tried to jump him, but really Jake held his own. And this is a small Jake, right? But this shows you know, these Edomites are cowards as well. Because you have one Edomite. This Edomite was actually pretty funny. You know, he hits the Jake and he runs when Jake starts to chase him. But when he was running, I was cracking up, man. Let's watch this, man.
Hey, nah, you was like, no problem with us, bro. Shit for you. No problem with us,
Drop one through the mic. Some hits to him. This is a small Jake, and this is a small so-called black man. This is a small Jake that's beat. That they can't. You know, the first big Edomite, he got him down because he hit him by surprise and whatever the case may be, kicked him in the head, whatever. But then he got right back up, and then a whole bunch of other Edomites, they couldn't even take him down. This is one Jake. You see what I'm saying? So wait till the Most High puts the spirit on the rest of these Jakes to get rowdy, man. To get real rowdy and real angry. Y'all ain't ready for that, man. See, Esau's not. They think they got it. They think it's all good. They got their guns. Hey, man, you only got. Hey, man, trust me, man. When the Most High puts the spirit on Jake, it's gonna be a whole different story than what they think. Hey, I've seen Jakes walk through bullets. I've seen a Jake on video walk through about 100 bullets and still was attacking, and the cop was shooting. I remember this back in the day. They shot him about 100 times, and the Jake was still attacking. So imagine you got 100 Jakes like that coming towards you. With that kind of, and because the Heavenly Father kept his spirit in his body. So listen, man. You Edomites are on a low level. You guys don't understand spiritual things, man. See, you hit him. Well, you know what I want to say? I want to say something that rhymes with maggot. A little maggot. Just play that back. Try to sneak in there to give a hit. I'm gonna punch you. The Jake said, yeah, you want to hit? Come here. He's running towards the police, man. Yeah. So you see, man, right? These Edomites are all with it, you know, filming, laughing, whatever. But like I said, wait till Jake starts to get roused up, right? Remember, we're stronger than Esau as a nation, right? Physically, we're stronger than these Edomites. Let's prove that. Let's go to the beginning of our nation, our forefather Jacob, okay, and Esau's forefather, right? I'll read it from verse 20. It said, and Isaac was 40. This is Genesis 25 and 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren. And Yahweh was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? So they're struggling together, meaning they were fighting together. See, us, the Edomites and the Israelites, right, which today the Edomites known as the so-called white people, predominantly, they, and us being Jacob being the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right, starting with Judah, right, we were struggling with them in the womb, okay, of Rebekah. Why? Because we were two opposing spirits. You had the righteous, which was Jacob, and then you had the wicked, which was Esau, okay? And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people. Now it says the other people shall be stronger than the one people shall be stronger than the other people. The stronger people is us. The stronger people is Jacob. Okay, you can see that all throughout the UFC world, the boxing world, the sports world. Whenever Jake gets into those things, the running world, the gymnastic world, look at Simone Biles. Even our women are stronger than their women. Okay. Okay, but check it out. Right? And this is mainly dealing with the men anyway, because it's not about women being stronger. But our women are superior in spiritually. The spirit of our women are superior to these Edomites, and these other nations. But like I was saying, we're stronger than these Edomites. Okay? Like I said, look at the sports world. Look at the UFC. Who, as soon as Jake got into UFC, they dominated. They took it over. Look at the boxing. As soon as Jake got in boxing, Jake took it over. Sports. Any sport Jake gets into predominantly, they take it over. Football, basketball, soccer. Okay? The Israelites are stronger than these Edomites. You understand what I'm saying? Just look at hey man, I was watching old videos of Vince Carter. That's got to be. I think that's actually my favorite player was Vince Carter, and man, he jumped over a 7 foot guy, 7 foot something dude, just cleared him, fully jumped over him, and he said after he did it, he said he didn't know how he did it. Well, he just did it in the spirit. Okay, sometimes you do things in the spirit. It's not Esau does things with how do you say this mechanically. This, then that, and then this and that. Jake will just do things in the spirit. Just moving according to what his spirit is feeling. He said, I'm gonna jump over this guy. I'm gonna dunk this one way or whatever, no matter what's in front of me, and that's what he did. Okay, right? And well, hey man, a lot of times Vince Carter, when he was playing in the spirit, bro. Okay, he was playing with he was tapping into his spirit the way he played. Like he was like, yo. Can tell, man. Said, and Yahweh said unto Salakia. Let me read verse 23. It says, and Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Simple as that, man. Right, we're stronger than these Edomites, man. Okay, and listen, the Edomites know that. They know that very well. Okay, so like I said, when the Heavenly Father puts that spirit in Jake, right? When you go to Isaiah the 19th chapter, right? Isaiah 19 and verse. It says, I'll start at verse 15. It says, Isaiah 19 and 15. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And you see that happening with this economy. You know, there's a lot of job losses, right? A lot of people getting laid off, especially with these major companies, Amazon and so on and so forth. But this is going to increase, all right? Because they want you to be dependent upon them, right? We understand that. They want to come in with the universal basic income, right? But then they want to come in with the micro C-HIP, which is the mark of the BEAST, okay? So, so we know that's talking about this time. In that day shall Egypt, right? In that time, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. And Judah representing what? The so-called Negroes. Okay? Judah, you know. And you know Judah going to be rolling with Benjamin and Levi, right? Shall be a terror unto Egypt, man. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself because of the counsel of Yahweh of hosts, which he hath determined against it. See that? So the Judah's going to make these Edomites and these other nations very afraid. Okay? He said he's going to raise up the sons of Zion against thy sons, O Greece. He's going to make these Edomites very, very afraid, man. All right? There's even this one Edomite that was on, I think it was on TikTok, and he said, hey, man, and he was one of those far right. He was one of those, I don't know if you can't call it, it's not far, maybe, one of those right-wing Edomites, I'll say. And he said, hey, when that race white come, I'm going with the color. I'm going with the blacks. I'm going with the colorful white because you white people think it's going to be easy just to take them over because you got all these guns. We're highly outnumbered. He was thinking about it. And he's like, yo, we're very much outnumbered because it's not just Judah you got to worry about. Which, first of all, Judah's high in number in America, right? But then you also have the so-called Latin tribes, man, that you got to worry about, man. Okay? And then you got Jakes amongst the other nations that are going to feel spiritually connected to Jake that you're going to have to worry about, man. All right? I got this dude who's a Sri Lankan Jake that I know in the world, and he said if there's a fight between and he just said this out of nowhere, if there's a fight between the so-called white people and the so-called blacks, I'm fighting with the blacks. And he said that out of nowhere. You understand what I'm saying to you? So you got them to worry about, man. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? You're going to have people that look like Edomites that's going to be fighting on the side of Jake. So Esau doesn't know what he's getting himself into, man. You don't know. But regardless of the fact, hey, man, it's going to get bad, man. It's not just going to be a race. They all just race, you know, there's one race on this side, another race on that. It's not just going to be that, you know, it's going to be a lot of things. There's going to be, a class rise. There's going to be riots based upon tensions based upon the political side that you choose, and whatever the case may be. Like he said in Civil War, what kind of American are you? Right? Now let's read this. This is Genesis 6 in verse 1, man. This is dealing with our people, the sons of God, our ancestors, man. We are way more powerful than these Edomites as a nation, and that includes these Jakes in the world, man. Right? If you grew up around Jake, you've seen Jake do some amazing things when it comes to talent, you know. It says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of the Most High saw the daughters of men. The sons of the Most High well, back then they weren't known as the Israelites, but when they came back in the reincarnation, because reincarnation is biblical, they came back as Israelites, because the word Israel means he is a son of a prince of God. He is a prince of God, which means a son of God. Okay? And when you read the law, I said the law in Psalms 82nd chapter and 6th verse, it says that we are gods, but we shall die like men. See, vocab doesn't get that because vocab is not an Israelite, and the Spirit and the Holy Spirit is not on it. But the Bible says that, right? So he would have to explain that. It says that the sons Salakia, of the Most High saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Okay, so there were giants in the earth in those days. This is the part I want, right? The giants represent having a renown, you know, being famous men, being men of status, not dealing with size. Okay, we go into that all the time when you click on it in the blue letter. It says, and also after that, when the sons of the Most High came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Yes, so our forefathers were mighty men. Okay, forefathers were mighty men. All right, and there was no comparison to us when it comes to these other nations. Just like there's no comparison to us now. Right? This is hey, Michael Jordan was walking on air, man. Right? Like I mentioned, Vince Carter. We could go through this whole sports world. We could go through football. We can go through soccer. We could go, Ronaldinho. We can go through all these guys, man. These are Israelites, man. Okay? Fastest runners. Go through Usain Bolt. Go through all these guys, man. Those are all those characteristics that these guys have are characteristics of. Those are warrior-like characteristics. The speed, right? Being able to have good eye-hand coordination. You know what I'm saying? But now in this day and age, they're playing basketball, they're playing football, they're doing this and that. So like I said, wait till Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai turns up these Israelites, man. This is 2 Samuel, 23, and verse 8. It says, these be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Tachmonite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. These are our forefathers now. The same was Adino, the Eznite. He lift up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time. So he slew 800 men at one time. That's almost 1,000 men he slew at one time, bro. These are our forefathers, right? And these Jakes right here, they got that blood in them, right? And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Ahohite, one of the three mighty men with David when they defied the Philistines. And we have this blood in us, man. Okay? He said, and after him was Eleazar, son of Dodo, the Ahohite, one of the three mighty men with David when they defied the Philistines that were there gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword, and Yahweh wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. See, it's all about Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's why I said when Yahweh, the Heavenly Father Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, turns up these Jakes, these Israelites, it's over, man. It's gonna get bad. I mean, both sides, man. A lot of Jake's gonna perish, but when the Lord turns them up, man, puts that ancient spirit in them to really get down, you Edomites are in trouble, man. Okay, and you other nations. And after him was Shammah, the son of Agi, the Herorite, and the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where was a piece of ground full of lentils. And the people fled from the Philistines, but he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it and slew the Philistines. And this is one man, and slew the Philistines, and Yahweh wrought a great victory. All right? So, hey, man, I don't have to read anymore. You could read the rest of this, man. But you see, our forefathers were great, strong, warrior-like men, and we are naturally stronger than these Edomites. So Esau doesn't want Jake to turn up. That's why you go to, I was on this Reddit post dealing with that thing with Jake, getting jumped by those Edomites. And hey, man, Jake, there was one Jake that said, he's like, yo, the black men need to stand up together and fight against these mother effers. And then, you had other nations, the Edomites, but some of them could have been Jakes, but mainly Edomites. But some of them could have been Jakes that was saying, nah, I don't think that's the way. I think we all need to come together and fight against this, blah, blah, blah. Why do you think they say that? Because that idea is actually kind of scary to them. That's a terrifying idea to them because they understand that physically Jake is stronger, right? All right, so hey, man, things is getting turned up, man. The police couldn't even deal with these guys, man. All right, well, that's why eventually, the army's gonna be, hey, man, there's gonna be order out of chaos. The army's gonna have to be brought in at some point. So with that, I'm not saying for this particular situation, but hey, things can escalate, right? With that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect, and I'll say shalom.